Hi, my name is Gavin Breeding, and today I will be responding to Creative Critical Reflection number 3 in the form of a mock interview. The question posed is, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? Over the past couple weeks, my team and I were tasked with the assignment of developing our crime drama short film trailer, The Last Hunt. Countless reshoots, adjustments, and improvements went into the making of our film. And with this, my personal production skills developed astronomically. Before we dive into this interview, let's discuss what exactly production skills entail. From the perspective of a filmmaker or a director, production skills refer to the ability to create media content that builds towards a final goal or product. Whether that involves the ability to generate a coherent storyboard or pick the correct angles or shots for a certain scene, production skills are what make or break a film. In our movie, production skills played a huge role, and as editor, I had a very important part, especially in the post-production scene. Here's past and present Gavin to better elaborate on this CCR.
Hi, I'm past Gavin, and today I'm here with present Gavin. In this interview, we're going to discuss how our production skills have developed over this extensive experience. So when we talk about production skills, what exactly does that mean to you, Gavin? Great question, Gavin. To me, production skills can be broken up into three main categories: planning or pre-production, cinematography or production, and editing or post-production. Today, we're going to be talking about all three of those categories. First, we have planning or pre-production.
Planning refers to the storyboarding, location scouting, and so much more that goes into the pre-production of the film before a camera is even touched. At the beginning of this process, my storyboarding was sloppy and lacked depth, but to me that did not matter. I was just excited to start filming, but as I continued to produce my film, I realized how important planning is. I thought that I could just do it on the fly, but by the time I finished with my rough draft, I realized how significant planning is. With that in mind, by the time reshoots and adjustments came around, I made sure to spend more time planning and organizing the entire process. Whether that entailed an in-depth screenwriting process or location scouting weeks in advance, this attention to detail and exaggeration of planning is really noticeable between the first and second shoots, largely due to my own development of production skills in this sense.
Interesting. So what you're saying is planning or pre-production is a lot more important than you think. Yup, patience and a coherent plan really pays off in the long run. Yeah, whatever. Let's get to the fun stuff. What about filming? That's the best part. I'm happy you're starting to understand now, I guess. Now that we've covered pre-production and planning, let's move on and discuss how my production skills developed throughout the cinematography and the actual production of the film.
For the skills developed during the actual shooting, this mainly applies to aspects of cinematography. In particular, one major difference I personally noticed in my own production is that as I was filming the rough draft, I was seemingly scared to mess up and reshoot a scene if something was off. In other words, I would try to get it done in one shoot and be as efficient as possible. But by the time reshoots came around, I decided to scrap this plan and developed patience as a skill during the production process. This fear of messing up really holds you back during the production process and is the main reason I developed so much from the rough draft to the final. Besides this, my skills also progressed because generally speaking, I was much more familiar with the specific jargon revolving around media studies and cinematography. This helped astronomically because it allowed me to pan the camera or put a POV shot, for example, when needed. I was able to identify the best shots or angles for the film in succession, helping improve my production skills during the actual shooting of the film.
Wow, I can't believe all that came from just filming a movie. Yup, the production process is a lot more intricate than we initially thought, but it turns out we improved for the better from start to finish. Yeah, that's great and all, but what comes after that? All you gotta do for post-production is just put some videos in CapCut or whatever and just call it a day, right? How can you learn from that? That's what I thought, but the post-production skills are much more complex below the surface. Here's how my editing and post-production skills developed throughout this entire experience.
Finally, we have post-production. What I realized as the editor is post-production is probably the most important step in this whole process. It is important to iron out the kinks of your project in order to achieve a much more pleasing final product. Initially, there were a few key techniques or methods that flew over my head, but the more I learned to identify flaws in the film's editing, the better I was able to assess the damage. For instance, the sound. In the rough draft, I failed to notice how choppy and aggressive the sound was. But as my production skills enhanced, when it was time to turn in the final project, I was ready to release a result with a much smoother auditory and visual editing product. The most important part of editing that I learned throughout my development is receiving feedback. This is so significant because it really goes to help you see what could be better and allow you to go further and develop in the future. So don't think that editing is as simple as mashing a bunch of clips together in CapCut. It's so much more than that.
Huh, you were right. It is really a lot more complex than I originally thought. Yeah, I came into this class ignorant and lazy just like you. But with everything I've learned about media studies, I've come to appreciate the importance of production skills in my own developmental journey. I'm past Gavin, here with present Gavin, and we'd like to thank you for joining us on this informative interview. Until next time, thank you.